We did speak mainly about how the pandemic has affected the business models and in our sector in general. Funding, for example, and the amount of funding that has gone into this sector due to the pandemic. We also talked about business models and how they're changing over time, and especially these last few years. And we also covered a little what we see coming in the near future. So in the next, hopefully 2 to 3 years from now, or 4. What we've covered actually, and I think this is the case after the pandemic, what we've seen is that there are a lot of efficiencies to be gained by telemedicine in general and also telediagnostics. So we'll see a bigger uptake, and also in turn we'll see deeper technologies coming into play. For example, the AI technologies coming into, say for example, developing new tools for screening ECGs, which is a time-consuming sort of area for electrophysiologists at this point that can actually be done by AI. So that in turn comes with potential cost savings. And that's just a little example of what we covered. We see AI coming strong and new solutions coming in. We also see new entrants coming into the market. So traditionally, this has been a market served by digital companies, hospitals and insurance companies. What we see now is telecoms coming in, banks coming in, retailers coming in, and reimbursement from the public sector. So those are a few things that we think are levers to make this sector even stronger than what it is today. I really like everything that has to do with well-being, transitioning, or well-being, monitoring your health, transitioning into chronic patient management. So eventually we're all healthy now and we're monitoring our health, but eventually most of us will have a chronic illness that we'll have to deal with, and monitoring that from home, like we're doing when we watch our steps or see how we're doing in our static bicycle, etc. I think that will naturally transition into monitoring our health, and I really like companies that are into that space, developing tools for at-home rehab, but also at-home well-being and monitoring our health without having to go for regular checkups that are at this point have rendered useless. And there will be a big uptake on that. We've seen a lot of big rounds precisely in this sector, both across the Atlantic. So anything that has to do with good nutrition and preventing illness and having somebody to accompany you through that journey of taking care of your own health. We've talked about patient empowerment, but it's not just patient, it's healthy volunteers empowerment to just take ownership of our own health, and I think that will be a big driver. And we've seen it with companies raising in that space, raising a lot of money, north of 500 million in the last year across the Atlantic, Swedish, American. But we also see it in how we're changing as a human race. I'm hoping to find a lot of good companies, so if you're seeing me at this point, come and talk to us. I'm hoping to find very good companies here. There was very good audience, and a lot of questions from entrepreneurs, so I'm looking for good barriers of entry, so a lot of these business models are easily reproducible, and we like to have some barriers of entry. I like niche opportunities, so low-hanging fruit or niche opportunities that can validate the technology very early on with some market traction. So anything that's platform technology to me has to show some early uptake or indication or niche application or barriers of entry, or a combination of all those three to make it attractive, because there's certainly a lot of talent around. It's hard to differentiate yourself from your peers, and you have to go to show some really early on traction. That's what we like at this Inveready.